Hello and welcome to NTA International News at 7. My name is Blessing Abu. Here are the headlines. Federal government reaffirms commitment to ensuring the security of all Nigerians where they work and live. Advocacy on legislation strengthening agricultural extension services underway. The Nigerian government clears the air on digital identity number registration, says registration is free. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to the security and safety of all Nigerians, as well as ensuring their social economic well-being. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed stated this while discussing the release of Kankara schoolboys on the special weekend edition of NTU's Good Morning Nigeria. Oluseyi Adeagbo reports.
As opposed to Chibok, where it took about 3 weeks before anything was done, in Dapchi, in Kankara, within hours, the federal government moved in. Yes, he employed both kinetic and non-kinetic approaches, but the important thing that is the result.
Lai Mohammed explaining the promptness of the present administration to rescue operations and how it engendered a paradigm shift compared with approaches by previous administrations. The information minister said matters of national security should bring about synergy and not divisive tendencies.
In the case of Dapchi, we had all kinds of bizarre theories. But you have to be in government to know how many sleepless nights the president, the heads of securities, the ministers spent until this matter was resolved.
The Nigerian Army on its part said securing the release of the 344 Kankara schoolboys was 100% rescue mission.
The rules of engagement for the field commander is very clear. There should be no casualty and the boys must be rescued. So, minimum force here will only be limited by anything that will result in casualty.
For the Northeast, we get maximum cooperation from the state executives. That I must tell you, I must assure you. But beyond that, you need the people to take responsibility and take ownership of the security of their location. After being educated, and look, this thing is not good for you.
Nigerians reacting via tweets on the Twitter handle at NTAGMN commended the efforts of the government in getting the adopted students released without collateral damage and advocated thorough investigations to avert a recurrence. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adeagbo, NTA News.
The release of the Kankara schoolboys in Katsina State is said to be a Christmas gift to Nigerians, especially those disillusioned with the fight against insurgency. Timothy Yusuf reports that a cross-section of Nigerians are of this view.
It was a cheering news for the nation when the release of the abducted schoolboys in Kankara, Katsina State was announced. The fact that all the children were returned further enthused the nation.
We are all happy, Nigerians across the divide, irrespective of political parties or other considerations. We were very happy because it was so depressing when it happened.
It's coming at a time where the hope of the masses and the Nigerian populace will be rekindled and bring back public confidence.
Initially, people are already losing hope that psychologically the insurgency are winning the war.
The feat achieved by security agencies in the release of the schoolboys, many say, demonstrates renewed commitment to the fight against banditry and insurgency. While congratulating the nation for the success, they urged citizens to note that security is the work of all and that information should be given to security agencies for them to secure the nation. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Still on the released schoolboys, in our earlier bulletin, my colleague Lami Ali spoke with Group Captain Sadiq Garibashil, a retired military officer and an independent consultant and specialist in the law of armed conflict. He joined via Zoom on the release of the students.
Now, mass abduction is now synonymous with the operations of Boko Haram in Nigeria. How can we as a nation ensure that the security of Nigerians, wherever they work or live, knowing full well it is more or less a guerrilla warfare that we are into?
Well, again, every day, not only this abduction, I think what we have come to realize is that we're facing a myriad of security challenges. And like I say in every other forum I find myself, it is time for the executive branch, for the legislative branch, for the security agencies themselves to have a very honest conversation. Our security architecture was designed at a time when we didn't have the security challenges. Now we have myriad of security challenges. I do not think our security architecture has kept pace with the changes in our security situation. So for us to really have the military, the police, the DSS, all the other agencies that are at par with the challenges we are having, I think an honest conversation should happen, and this is what happens in other countries. Whenever there's a challenge, you sit down and ask yourselves, what kind of police will solve our problem? What kind of armed forces will solve our problem? Many such, fora have been held in other countries, and it's an honest conversation, because whether we like it or not, number-wise, equipment-wise, training-wise, right now, and again, when you juxtapose this on the size of Nigeria, the kind of security challenges we have, the kind of role we are supposed to be even lending, support to other countries because we have done it before. When you look at this, to be honest with you, the resources are not commensurate with the work we want to do. And this is, I will continue to say this wherever I find myself, and it takes, everybody has a role to play. All, at least the two, facets of government, the executive and legislature, they have a role to play. What the security agencies have to do, the role they have to play, it's not the police, for example, that will buy equipment or radios or vehicles for the police. It is not the IGP that will do that. It's not the chief of army staff that will buy APC or increase number of soldiers. It is not the chief of air staff that will buy more aircraft or more helicopters that will cover our ground. It is not the chief of naval staff that will buy ships and frigates. It is the political masters that will do that. But what will the security heads do? The security heads owe it a duty to look the civilian in the face and say, sir, we have this, we don't have this. We have this, we don't have this. And the task you are giving us cannot be accomplished successfully unless we have that. If the security man does that, he has done his job. But if he doesn't do that, then he has not been fair, and he has not done his his duty as a Nigerian, as a patriotic Nigerian. When they pass this to the legislature and the executive, now it is up to them whether it is a legal requirement, whether it is given extra spending. Then it is up to now executive and legislature to make sure they do that.
All right,
and
sir.
Again, the other challenge for the legislature and executive is not only approving money. When you approve money, you have to follow the money to make sure that it is not misappropriated, it's not misdirected.
All right, so
we
have very little time. Now, you've talked about synergy. What is your honest assessment of the efforts put in place so far by the various security agencies in fighting insecurity in Nigeria?
Well, again, since, like Hausa people say, on the day that people want to take their bath, you don't have their navel, or something like that. In all honesty, we have reached a stage where we have to agree what is working or what is not working. All along, whether in public discourse or in studies that have been carried out, there is always this constant, complaint that the security agencies, the intelligence agencies, the paramilitary agencies are not working in concert. It's like everybody is playing his game, and in the long run, a lot of resources are dissipated without much impact.
We thank you.
This is why, as a person, I am happy with, maybe because they are backwards to the wall. In all honesty, we have to say it. For this operation, this Kankara operation is one of the few instances where you see the military, the police, the intelligence services, and even state governments, coming together to work together to get this good result that we get. Like I said, maybe probably because everybody realized that their back is to the wall. In all honesty, if this operation had not finished successfully, it would have been a very, very big tragedy. And I think everybody realized that. But we don't have to wait for our backs to the wall for our security agencies, our intelligence agencies to work together, not to work at cross purposes. So please, we should see more synergy. We should see more cooperation. We should see more coordination between them if we are going to achieve.
Away from security matters and Kankara, now let's talk some health matters. 9 coronavirus patients die following oxygen cylinder explosion in an hospital in Turkey, just as the United States plans to close the last 2 consulates in Russia. Joyce Ometu has details of these as well as other stories on the foreign scene.
Coronavirus cases in India have surged past 10 million after recording more than 25,000 new cases in 24 hours. India has the second highest cases in the world after the United States, although statistics indicate that new infection rates have declined in recent weeks. In US, Moderna's coronavirus vaccine has gotten a green light, making it the second COVID-19 vaccine approved for use by the government. The US has agreed to purchase 200 million doses of Moderna's vaccine, and 6 million are ready to be shipped. On a sad note, 9 coronavirus patients have been killed in a fire which broke out in a private hospital's intensive care unit in Turkey. Reports say the fire was caused by the explosion of an oxygen ventilator, adding that other patients receiving treatment have been transferred to nearby hospitals. South Africa's health minister says a severe variant of the coronavirus have been detected in the country, which could be responsible for the rapid spread of the second wave that affects younger people. Known as the 501.V2 variant, it was identified by South African researchers and details have been sent to the World Health Organization. Total confirmed cases worldwide have exceeded 76 million, with 1.6 million fatalities, as Nigeria's death toll rose on Friday to 1,212 after 11 more people died from the virus in 24 hours. In other news, the European Parliament has passed a resolution urging member countries to consider imposing targeted restrictions against Egypt for its crackdown on human rights activists. The EU Parliament voted on a unified and resolute response against Egypt's action to silence activists. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has informed Congress of its plan to shut down its 2 remaining consulates in Russia. Reports say the move comes in response to the ongoing staffing challenges for the U.S. mission in that country. And that's where this segment ends. I am Joyce Ometu.
Thank you for that update, Joyce. Now to other matters. The federal government says it is bearing the cost of digital identity number registration process. And as such, the digital identity number is completely free for all Nigerians and legal residents with resident permits from the Nigerian Immigration Service. In a statement in Abuja, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantemi, made the clarification following the allegation of some applicants for the digital identity number alleging that they are being asked to pay for the service. The minister maintained that the digital identity number is the right of every citizen based on the National Identity Management Commission NIMC Act 2007. To this end, Dr. Pantemi has directed the Director General of NIMC to investigate these allegations with the view to bringing the perpetrators, if any, to book. The Nigerian Atomic Energy Commission wants the federal government to intensify drive for the adoption of nuclear power that will guarantee energy security and industrialization in the country. The acting chairman of the commission, Mukhtar Ali, gave the indication in line with the implementation of Nigeria's National Nuclear Energy Program and highlighting the benefits of Nigeria's technical cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency. He said the inclusion of nuclear power in Nigeria's energy mix will strengthen electricity generation in the country through nuclear sources.
It is a very reliable source of energy. It works, nuclear power plants, they work 24/7. and they can run for 60 years, uninterruptible power supply to the industry for 60 years. You can imagine that kind of power. There is no other source of power that can give you that. And then it creates jobs. Job opportunity is there. You can have thousands of persons working in a nuclear facility, and they are earning even more than the ordinary average worker outside.
If you really are looking for drastic industrial development, it is quite advisable to have nuclear in the energy mix. The challenges of different phases. There's challenge in everything, and in most of them, it has to do with money.
The idea of approving the adoption of nuclear power by the federal government, the Commission's boss maintains, was to ensure uninterrupted and sustainable energy supply for drastic industrialization and job creation, adding that the energy source is carbon-free, clean, and is capable of guaranteeing sustainable energy supply, contrary to the opposing views. We'll take a short break now. More stories when we return. Please stay with us.
The counsel of our fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Entel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit entel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Entel. Live more.
Thank you for staying with us on the news at 7. The federal government has challenged all agricultural research institutions on the need to develop homegrown solutions that will address issues and challenges affecting crop and livestock productions in the country. This is coming as the House of Representatives pledges to support Ministry of Agriculture with legislation that will empower agricultural extension services. Musa Babali reports.
Agriculturists identified research and innovation as the backbone of agricultural development, while extension remains the key driver. Nigeria is ranked among the countries with large number of agricultural scientists. However, most of their findings do not go beyond their shelves. And this is what the Federal Ministry of Agriculture wants to address.
Because the research is the only way that can salvage the country out of this quagmire that we are in terms of population growth, in terms of insecurity and many other things.
To this end, some selected agricultural institutions have been supported with some teaching apparatus and facilities that will aid extension services.
What is the type of pesticides to use? What is the type of herbicides to use? All these things are the things that are embedded in this video, in this television, in these projectors, for us to be able to show the farmers so that production will be enhanced and increased.
Fish farmers, put them through, teach them. So we don't need to be taking them around looking for where to take them through to teach them. So we have a very good material on ground.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture is therefore advocating a policy that will allow universities and colleges of agriculture produce and commercialize their innovations and researches. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
To some electoral matters, voting has ended in the local government council's election in Gombe State. Emmanuel Akila reports that the electorate have been advised to maintain the peace while they await the results.
Electoral officials arrived polling units with election materials in the early hours of the day. Accreditation and voting commence as voters queue up for the exercise. Governor Mahmoud Inouye Yahya is among the early voters who cast their ballots.
The reports we received separately are indicative of the real situation on the ground, that people are conducting themselves peacefully. People should remain calm, should remain resolute, because it's what they want that they will get.
Election observers and voters bear their minds on the conduct of the election.
The election is going on smoothly, and you have seen a lot of people on the queue. Even His Excellency joined the queue, and he has casted his own vote, and also a lot of people have casted their own vote before his arrival. The exercise is orderly and is credible, and you have seen the enthusiasm in the people you have seen on the queue.
I came out to vote, and I have cast my ballot without any hitches. The election process is peaceful. Gombe State has 11 local government areas with 114 wards, from where results for chairmanship and councillors are being awaited. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has rejoiced with the foremost scholar, legal icon, author, and anti-corruption crusader, Professor Isejua Sagay, as he turns 80. The president rejoices with the Sagay family, the academia, legal profession, and all friends and associates of the chairman, Presidential Advisory Committee on Corruption, saying his integrity and commitment to transparency marks him out as a Nigerian of sterling character. He wishes the author of many books, including the Epoch of Nigerian Law of Contracts, good health, longer life, and further contributions to jurisprudence, even as he serves God and humanity. Quick look at sports update now. The league management company, LMC, has confirmed December 27 as the commencement date for the Nigerian Professional Football League 2020-2021 season. Olumide Eguntola has this as well as other tidbits on sports updates.
The league organizer said the commencement date was arrived at after consultations with the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, the participating football clubs of the NPFL, and Red Strike Media Group, United Kingdom, the NPFL commercial rights holders and strategic commercial partners of the league management company. Meanwhile, the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dari, has assured sports-loving Nigerians that the National Stadium, Surulere, Lagos, undergoing renovation, will be completed and ready for use by May 2021, among other developmental strides of the present administration.
We also hope at that time we'll be able to take care of some of the a large portion of the terraces that will be compliant with FIFA.
Whether there's NEPA light, whether the national grid collapses or not, that with the independent power system we have, the football field can be maintained.
In another development, the National Association of Women in Sports, NAWIS, has inaugurated the Loring chapter of the association as part of efforts to increase the number of women in sports and encourage active participation of women, especially at the grassroots level, where talents are discovered.
The area of sport should not be different. They should use this opportunity to mobilize children, girls.
The place of women in sports development is an increasingly vast one.
Elsewhere in Lagos, over 100 Nigerians took part in the first edition of 7-kilometer I'm Alive and Thankful Walk and Run initiative of Chairman Lagos State Badminton Association on Nome Obrute, held in Lekki area, with the mindset of staying healthy.
I've always known that, I've been overweight. I needed to lose weight, and I embarked on that in the past few months. I've lost about 16 or 17 kg.
Avoid that GoFundMe where people will start contributing money because of asthma, ulcer. Eat right, live healthy, sleep healthy, take care of your body.
The participants smiled home with gift items and medals. With sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
A quick check on the weather prospect for Sunday. That's for Nigerian cities as well as other parts of the world is up next. And that's NTA International News at 7. We thank you for watching. My name is Blessing Nabo. Before we go, just remember that you can be a star by connecting with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. Good evening.